Okay, mine says recording will start moment. Okay. All right. Welcome everybody to Viterbo University's Master of Science in Community Medical Dietetics Open House. My name is Jamie Weber and I'm the Coordinated Program Director. We also have Dr. Maria Morgan-Bathke with us, as well as Dr. Kelsey McClymans and Tiffany Lein, who are some other faculty members who will be introducing themselves shortly. All right, so who am I? I graduated from Viterbo's coordinated program in 2002. So that seems like it was a couple decades ago, actually. And then went into the workforce a little bit, mostly worked in the community side of things. And then I went back for my master's in professional development from Winona State, graduated in 2014. Some of my experience since I became a registered dietitian includes, like I said, mostly in the community realm, but a little bit in the clinical realm. I worked with Vernon Memorial Hospital for a total of 2.5 years. Most of that time was as a diet clerk while I was trying to land my first dietitian job, and then about a year as a dietitian. I worked for the Ho Chunk Nation for 6 years. I worked with their youth program. I did home visits, as well as I was the nutrition director for 3 years. I've also worked with Riverside Corporate Wellness for about a year, the WIC program for 15 to 16 years, typically on a contracting basis. So I'd have a full-time job, and then maybe 1 or 2 days a week I would work with WIC clients. I've had some long-term care experience for a couple years, have done some contracting with Organic Valley, and then I've been with Viterbo 6 years, and I'm starting my 7th year. So I've included some pictures so you guys can kind of see my family, but this is my husband, Nick, and I have 2 kiddos, Delia and Matthias. Their ages 6 and 5. And so here I have some more family pictures, just some of my favorites. I also have my 2 dogs, Zoe and Hank. He's so cute and little there. He's 8 months now, and he's about 35 to 40 pounds now and jumps up on the counter. So he's super playful. And then Zoe's about 13 years old. And again, some more fun pictures of the kids. The picture in the middle is of some students who are doing a cooking class with toddlers. So I think my kids were like 2 and 3 for this cooking class, but it's kind of a fun pic.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. So I'm Dr. Morgan-Bathke. I am the chair of the Nutrition and Dietetics department. I also teach quite a few of the classes at the graduate level. I did my undergrad at University of Wisconsin Stout with a degree in dietetics and a minor in Spanish. I studied abroad in Sevilla, Spain during my undergrad, and we actually now have the opportunity for you to take a course in the graduate program called Sports Nutrition in the Mediterranean Diet. And as a part of that course, you can actually travel to Spain for a couple of weeks and work with Spanish Olympic athletes and provide nutrition information. So if you've got a little bit of a travel bug and or are interested in sports nutrition, it's a great opportunity with this program. I went from UW Stout to the University of Arizona, where I got my PhD in nutritional sciences and a minor in cancer biology. And while I was doing my PhD, I also did a dietetic internship at the Carondelet Health System in Tucson, Arizona. And our focus of the internship was medical nutrition therapy. And then I did an emphasis in renal nutrition as well as critical care nutrition. So I teach nutrigenomics, obesity, prevention, nutrition and cancer, just to name a few of the graduate level courses. And for your thesis project, I do advise research students that have research interests in those types of areas: obesity and inflammation, diabetes, nutrition and cancer, etc.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kelsey McClymans, and I am an assistant professor here at Viterbo University. I just have a little bit of information about myself on this slide. I graduated from UW-Madison with my bachelor's in dietetics, and then went on to UW-Stout to get my master's in nutritional sciences. I completed my supervised practice dietetic internship at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, and then earned my PhD in nutritional sciences from Iowa State University. And my emphasis there was on aging. So I'm really interested in how nutrition can impact aging and also Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia. And so that's kind of my area of practice. I will teach your nutrition aging course. And then I'm also really interested in teaching research. I am the institutional review board chair. And so I enjoy working with research students a lot. And I will teach your 2 research classes.
Oh, welcome. My name is Tiffany Lein, and I'm the newest member to our Viterbo dietetic faculty. I started here at Viterbo in this past January, although I've taught adjunct for a couple of years prior to that. My background is predominantly in public health, so my master's degree is from UWL in public health, although I did graduate from UWSP in 2008 in nutrition and dietetics. A little bit about my family life. I've got a picture here of some little kiddos. I've got 4 kids, all boys. It's an extremely active lifestyle at our house, but my children are 4, 6, and 2. And as a family, we really try to practice what we preach. So we do a lot of gardening and cooking and really just spending time outdoors. Like I mentioned, my passion is in public health and how nutrition ties in very nicely with public health. So some of my pictures are from my previous place of employment at the La Crosse County Health Department. So I did a lot of things related to food access. I've worked with farm to school programs. We did an apple orchard tree planting, and then also a lot with employee wellness. So that's why you see the picture of the fitness center, as we're always focused on how do we talk about nutrition and dietetics, but how do we broaden that out a little bit with public health? My experience at Viterbo with the students is predominantly in anything related to food service or food science. So we do a lot of different classes in our foods lab. So I work with the students in food service management based courses, and then also some with community nutrition and also developmental nutrition.
All right. Thank you, everybody. So moving along, how do I become a dietitian or a registered dietitian nutritionist? As you've probably heard, by 2024, in order to be a dietitian, you need to earn a master's degree from an accredited university, as well as log 1,000 hours of supervised practice. So Viterbo University is one of only 61 programs in the US to offer this coordinated track. So you basically get your bachelor's, master's, and supervised practice, your 1,000 hours within that 5-year period. So about our 4+1 master's program a little bit more, I do have a link to our webpage, which doesn't seem to work very well with this platform. So I've included some screenshots from our website, and you can kind of make out the website at the top there. But otherwise, if you'd go to Google and type in Viterbo University, Nutrition and Dietetics, it should pop right up. You would want to look for the MSCMD program, the Master of Science in Community Medical Dietetics. And this is what the webpage should look like. You can learn a little bit more about our department, the mission and philosophy, some of our goals. You can also view some of past student projects to kind of get a better feel for what you might be doing, as well as, our information will be on there, the faculty, and then the website continuing. Right now we have the video from last year up, but once this is finished recording, you'll see this video on the screen. We also have our student handbook attached to our website so that you can kind of review and get a kind of a feel for what's going to be required once you enter that professional phase. So like I mentioned, it's a 5-year program. The professional phase is going to be your 3rd, 4th, and 5th years. Some things that you will be able to find in the student handbook, you might be wondering about program cost. And of course, we can't guarantee tuition, but this year for a full-time student, it's about $29,230 for the year. And then it kind of breaks down some of the other fees that you would be required to pay during the program. I also included a link, which I said the links aren't really working very well, but you can also look at our financial aid page. So again, you can Google Viterbo University financial aid. If you are needing to apply for some financial aid, our financial aid office is very helpful and can answer any of your questions. So our master's program, like I said, it includes supervised practice, but it's exclusively online. So about the first 4 years of the program, you're going to have some face-to-face classes. Well, actually most face-to-face classes. But then once you start the master's program, all of those courses are online, and your supervised practice for medical nutrition therapy and community can also be completed anywhere around the nation. So it's kind of nice if you want to start networking in a certain area, or if you know there's a certain area that you want to work in. It gives you a little bit more flexibility to secure a supervised practice site that meets your interests and needs. Okay, so a little bit more about our course sequence. I did download a separate document for our course sequence since we can't pull up the link. Let me see if I can get it pulled up here. I think you can all see it. So this is what the sequence would look like for our 5-year program. You'll notice the first 2 years, it's primarily gen eds, a lot of science-based courses. So nutrition and dietetics is really heavy in the sciences and math. You'll have to take anatomy and physiology, general chemistry, microbiology, organic chemistry, biochemistry, and then really the only math course we have you taking is statistics. And that's going to be very helpful when it comes time to analyze your research. But one other thing I do want to point out is that first semester, you're already taking 2 nutrition courses, Nutrition 140 and Nutrition 173. Both of these are taught by Tiffany Lein, one of our full-time faculty who just introduced herself. And we like to have a full-time faculty teaching these courses so you can get connected to our department. If you have any questions, adjuncts would be able to answer as well, but we just like to have that connection between the student from that first semester. Nutrition 140 is Introduction to the Profession. This is a really neat course. We have a lot of guest speakers come in, and you learn about different things you can do as a dietitian. I think many of us are aware that we can work in a hospital or a clinic. We could work at a WIC clinic. But what are some different things you can do as a registered dietitian? You'll learn about that in this course. And then Nutrition 173 is your basic foods course. So your first food service course. The spring semester of your first year, you don't have any nutrition courses. But then moving forward, you'll have a nutrition course every semester. So that fall semester of the second year, you'll continue on with Nutrition 273, which is a food science course. And then Nutrition 340, human nutrition. And then again, in the spring semester, you'll have Nutrition 341. And then at the end of that second year, that's when you're going to apply to that professional phase that I was talking about. And so we'll have a whole application process for you. And if you're curious about the application process, you can go to our website, and all the application materials are posted on our webpage, and you can kind of skim through them to get a feel kind of what we're looking for. And then you should be accepted into the professional phase starting that third year. And this is when you start to get a little bit more heavier into the nutrition courses. So you'll see you have a couple nutrition courses this fall semester, and then pretty much all nutrition courses by the spring semester of your third year. This Nutrition 481 is highlighted in gray. And the reason I have it highlighted in gray is because it's your first supervised practice course. So your food service supervised practice will take place in La Crosse. You'll log 120 hours for the semester, about 8 hours a week. And so all of that, all those 120 hours will go towards the 1,000 hours minimum that you need to sit for the exam. And then by the time you get to the fourth year, again, this is still the professional phase. It's kind of chopped off. I think I have another document here I'll pull up to kind of show you the second half of the document. At least it was working before. We'll see. Oh, maybe it's, oh, here it is. Before I click over though, I want to take note, the spring semester of the fourth year, you'll see Nutrition 530 and 600. Those are graduate level courses. So any 500 level or 600 level courses you see are going to be at the graduate level. And you'll see, the graduate courses kind of continue on to the second page. And Kelsey can talk a little bit more about the graduate program. But the nice thing about our 4+1 program is you can take 9 credits of graduate courses at the undergraduate rate. So you can, take the courses that you're going to need anyways for a little bit cheaper. And then you might be wondering why this is highlighted in purple. Advanced Nutrition Counseling is an optional graduate course. So Kelsey, maybe I'll hand it over to you and you can talk a little bit more about the electives and anything else.
Sure. So another role that I have is I am the director of our graduate program. And so I teach a lot of the classes in the graduate program, and I also advise the graduate students and help them choosing their path. We have you can customize your degree based on where your interests lie. So we have a variety of different electives that you can take. So we have a nutrigenomics. So if you're interested in kind of the biochemical route and looking at genetics and how our nutrition alters our genome, that could be of interest to you. We have a class called Topics in Nutrition, which looks at different areas of nutrition that are up and coming, so you can kind of learn about what's new in nutrition. We have a nutrition and cancer class. We have a nutrition, disease, and inflammatory state class if you're interested in that. And we also have an advanced sports nutrition class as well. So we have a lot of students that are interested in sports nutrition, so we have that option. And then in addition to taking those electives, you can also cater your research project to follow along the lines of what your interests are for specializing. So if you're interested in sports nutrition, you could do a research project around the area of sports nutrition. Or if you're more interested in community nutrition, for example, working with breastfeeding, you could do a project along those lines. And we actually pair you with a research advisor who will work with you throughout your research project, who is an expert in the field. So it's a really nice one-on-one relationship that you get for that research project. And so that research project will span your 5th year. So it's that Nutrition 640 and Nutrition 641, where you are designing your research project, you are conducting it, and then you write up a thesis and defend that. And then while you're doing that, you are also doing your community and medical nutrition therapy capstone, which is what Jamie had mentioned, where you're doing your supervised practice out in the field in a location that you would like to be in. So you are able to do that at a distance if there's an area of the country that you are interested in working in. So that's also a nice perk. Is there anything else I should touch on
No, I think that was good. And I guess one other thing to point out, or just to kind of reiterate, I think we've already shared this, but all of the graduate programs are required except for during the summer session. These are all electives. And so you're required to take 12 electives. Remember, this 545 is an optional course. So this 3 credits could count as one of your electives, should you choose. And then you would need 9 more electives. So you could take 9 credits over the summer, or you could take 6 over the summer and maybe take an elective here. Whatever works best with your schedule. But yeah, that was helpful. Okay, let me try to get my PowerPoint pulled up again here, if I can. Well, now my PowerPoint isn't pulling up. Let me see in my playlist. I'll pull it back up. Give me one sec.
I can talk a little bit more about supervised practice if you want. Well, oh, it looks like you got it.
Yep. I'll just jump ahead here to where we were at. Okay, and I think you kind of already covered all this, right, Kelsey? So just, do you want to talk a little bit more about the supervised practice specifically?
Sure. So we have it set up where in the fall semester, you're doing your community nutrition supervised practice. And so this is where you're doing four days a week and in the community setting. So this could be sports nutrition. It could be at a women, infants, and children clinic, if that's something you're interested in. It could be at an aging center for aging and resource disability center. It could be at a location linked to food insecurity. So those are potential options. Supermarket also we have listed here. Did you want me to talk about 481 too, Jamie, or did we?
Sure. Let's talk briefly about it. Sure.
So the site's, oh, Tiffany, why don't you?
I can jump out on this one. So I'm the instructor for 481, given my experience with food service. We tend to have students placed all over in our community, predominantly in either schools or institutions. So some of our students right now will be placed working with K through 12 school districts. We also have students working at universities and healthcare institutions. Your experience will vary depending on the semester and who can accept students, but it's your first opportunity to get out in the field and gain that hands-on experience. So you'll be working directly with a food service manager. Some days you might be actually in the kitchen learning about food preparation techniques, and other days you'll be doing more of the management side of it. So whether that's taking temperatures or helping work with employees or doing evaluations and reviews, but it's really an excellent opportunity to gain hands-on experience in the field. In addition to this, with our supervised practice in food service, it's also paired with a little bit of class time. So you'll still be learning from your peers. 1 hour a week we'll meet together as a class. So you'll get to hear what other students are doing as well. But like I said, as you've seen on Jamie's curriculum schedule, that this is your first opportunity to actually get out in the field so you can feel comfortable applying for food service manager jobs in the future.
Thanks, Tiffany. All right. And anything more about 671, Kelsey?
Sure. So similarly to your community nutrition, you will be doing 4 days a week, 8 hours a day of medical nutrition therapy, which might be a new term to you if you're just starting to look at programs, but medical nutrition therapy is something that is really unique to dietitians, is that we are able to follow something called the nutrition care process and assess the patient and cater their nutritional needs towards our assessment and providing a nutritional diagnosis for them. And so oftentimes these types of rotations will take place at a hospital or potentially a clinic. So you could see more of outpatients who might come in for a visit about managing their diabetes, or if they have kidney disease and they need help with management for that. And then another option would be a long-term care facility. So if you enjoy working with older adults, and you see lots of different disease states at the long-term care facilities, and you're able to provide nutritional interventions and really make an impact in those areas, especially with regards to quality of life. So that's another place where you can make a big impact. And then another one, if you're interested in eating disorders, that could be also a potential, is that you could work at an eating disorder treatment center for your MNT Capstone.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then I can talk about this too as well. So we really like to prepare you well for the registration examination to become a registered dietitian. So we take care of all of the steps that you need to become a registered dietitian. So your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, and your supervised practice. And so we get you all ready to sit for the registration exam so you can be a registered dietitian and start working. And so kind of the last step to this is getting you prepared to take that exam. And so we would get you access to the preparation software Eat Right Prep, which is through the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, who their overarching organization is our affiliation. So we work together for, we can network through the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and they kind of oversee us. And so they make a really great software called Eat Right Prep. And we incorporate it into our nutrition courses. So for example, Nutrition 470 is a medical nutrition therapy course. So we have you take a practice test, and then they also have quiz questions that we have you work on through them, and we discuss as a class. So helping you prepare for those types of questions. And I know that Tiffany also incorporates the food service questions into her courses, so that you're kind of getting that practice throughout your entire schooling. And so it's not something where you feel like you just need to cram for it, and we're really trying to prepare you all throughout your 5 years. And so the Eat Right Prep, you're able to work at your own pace online, and there are 6 different practice exams on there that you can take. And so that's really nice. You can, if you want to save 1 or 2 to write, getting closer to when you take the exams, you can do a mock exam. And we do require that you complete that practice exam prior to graduation and score at a 70% or higher, showing that you are ready to take the exam and succeed. So we really want to work with you to make sure that you are ready to go to take that exam.
All right, the Student Dietetic Association. And so this is a club for dietetics members, and it's required that you are a part of SDA your 3rd year, so the 1st year of the professional phase. And during this this time, you'll be able to do some fundraising. Like right now, our SDA does apple pie sale in the fall. We do a candy sale, usually around Valentine's Day, just different fundraising opportunities. And the goal is to raise enough money so that they're able to pay for the Eat Right Prep exam, which is $150 per student. That way you're not having to pay that out of your pocket. There's also some different social events as well as volunteer opportunities that the group does together. So here's a picture of some of our students last year. I'm going to skip through the videos here, but I had videos of our assessment lab and our foods lab. But otherwise, any questions? And if you don't have any questions today, you can definitely reach out to me. I've included my contact information, and I'm sure we don't have Kelsey's contact information here. But like I said, you can go right to our webpage, and under our faculty, and her contact information is there. And I'm sure she'd be happy to answer any questions about the master's program specifically as well. But I want to thank you for joining us today, and look forward to hearing from you.